What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Six Squirrels, and I am coming at you with the first installment in a series that I'm calling Meme Team to Dream Team. So the idea here is I'm going to take a dumb idea or niche gimmicky strategy and try to make something halfway decent and build a cohesive team out of it. So we're starting off today with a team that I like to call Speed Trap. Where the meme in this case is the interaction of Cotton Down and Contrary. So let's take a look at the roster, and I'll break it down for you. So here we've got Speed Trap, at Eldegoss, Malamar, Milotic, Chandelure, Excadrill, and Snorlax. So first off, we've got Eldegoss with Cotton Down. Every time it takes a hit, it's going to spew cotton all over the battlefield, and every other Pokemon out is going to take a -1 to speed. Then you've got Malamar with Contrary, so every time it gets a stat change, it's going to do the opposite of what you expect. So, obviously here, Cotton Down is going to be spewing out that cotton, it's going to hit your opponents to a -1 speed, it's going to hit the Malamar and give you a +1 speed. And so suddenly, Eldegoss is probably outspeeding your opponents anyway because of the -1, but Malamar is definitely outspeeding your opponents with that two-stage differential. Then Eldegoss has the Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Pollen Puff Synthesis, very supportive set, very bulky. It's max HP, max defense, bold nature. So it's going to be able to take hits, it's got leftovers, it's going to heal itself up, it's going to stick around for a little bit. You got the Malamar running Superpower, classic Malamar move. Normally that would drop your attack and defense by 1 stage every time you use it, but again with Contrary, it's in fact going to raise your attack and defense by 1 stage. Then you've got Psycho Cut and Throat Chop for stab moves, and Ally Switch, just to throw your opponent for a loop here. This is doubles, so any sort of mind games are probably going to help out a little bit. Malamar with the Expert Belt, just to get that punch in, just to get that extra little bit of power in. One thing to note is that Superpower is base power 120, and Throat Chop is base power 80. So accounting for stab, Throat Chop is going to have its 1.5 times boost, and so that's going to go up to 120 as well. And so Superpower and Throat Chop are basically the same here, except that Superpower has the added bonus in this case of boosting your attack and defense by 1 stage. So in cases of neutral damage where super effective is not being accounted for, you're probably going to want to click Superpower over Throat Chop. So just something to keep in mind. Moving right along, we've got Milotic over here, who's running it's 100 special attack EVs, 252 HP, and 156 physical defense. And then it's got a Calm Nature to boost the special defense and the Assault Vest. We got Scald, Ice Beam, Surf, and Mud Shot, running competitive. So the reason we've got those EVs is a Scald is going to be able to take down a Rhyperior, and then after a single competitive boost, your Scald is going to be able to take down Dynamax Rhyperior as well. So that's one important thing to note. You've got Ice Beam for dragons, Surf if you want to hit the field, and Eldegoss is going to be able to tank a Surf real well. It's going to resist, it's bulky, we're good. And then Mud Shot, just to round out the set for Assault Vest, has the added bonus of slowing your opponents down further, but also turns into Max Quake on Dynamax and boosts your team's special defense, which is pretty good. Don't use it with Malamar out though, because that's going to shrink its special defense, which is not what you want. Chandelure over here is our Trick Room kind of insurance policy here. So it's running Trick Room itself, you see, and Imprison. So if you find yourself up against a Trick Room team, you can hit Imprison, shut them off from their strategy, and try and take them down. But it also has the option to turn on Trick Room later if Eldegoss has been slowing your guys down and your opponents have now faster Pokemon on the field. So you can turn on the Trick Room and flip it back on them. Then you've got Shadow Ball, Heat Wave, classic Chandelure moves, Infiltrator to get around any shenanigans they might be doing. That G-Max Resonance off of Lapras is very popular, so being able to get around that dual screens is pretty good. And then in the back, we've got Excadrill and Snorlax as kind of our equal and opposite ideas here. We got Excadrill is this really fast sweeper with a bunch of coverage, and Snorlax is this really slow, bulky, powerful Pokemon with also very good neutral coverage and a good setup option in Belly Drum. So if you've got Eldegoss out, and it... Oh, gotta refresh the screen there. You got Eldegoss out, and it's doing its job, it's slowing down your opponents, and you expect it to be there for a long time. You can bring out Excadrill against their already slow Pokemon. You've got the Choice Scarf to just ensure that you outspeed and just hit hard and get those KOs. But if you expect Eldegoss to go down early in the fight, or if you're facing a Trick Room team and you're bringing Chandelure already, you can bring Snorlax in the back so that when they send out their now faster Pokemon, because Eldegoss isn't there to slow them down, then you can use Chandelure, turn on the Trick Room. Snorlax is at that really low speed, hit a Belly Drum, and then this is a Giga Snorlax running a Gluttony Figgy Berry, so you can hit the G-Max Replenish off a Double Edge. Is going to be a really powerful stab normal type move that's going to get you your HP back, and then you've got Darkest Lariat and Hammer Arm to just round out the set. I like Hammer Arm because it hits those rock types really hard. It hits Rhyperior, and it lowers your own speed, which under Trick Room is going to be very helpful. Thing to note about this particular Snorlax is that unfortunately it does have a 31 speed IV, which is not ideal, but in most cases it doesn't end up mattering because Snorlax's base speed is so low already. So that's the basic breakdown of the team. So let's run a few matches and see how this team ends up working for you. You got the rental team ID in the bottom there if you guys want to try this out for yourselves. And let's go. Alright, so they've got Rillaboom, Indeedee, Arcanine, Mantine, interesting, Mamoswine, and Braviary. So obviously we're going to want Eldegoss Malamar. That's, what, Indeedee Male, which does not set Trick Room, so we probably don't have to be worried about that. I don't know what Mantine does. Braviary is probably running the, whatever the opposite of competitive is. So I don't think we're worried about Trick Room here. So Chandelure would be good for Rillaboom, but I don't think we need it. Milotic is gonna hit the Arcanine hard, gonna hit the Braviary hard. Excadrill is probably pretty good here also against, pretty much all of this. So we're gonna go Milotic and Excadrill in the back here, just kind of see how this goes. Alright, we see them leading off with Rillaboom and Mamoswine. So, Mamoswine probably going to hit an Ice-type move against Eldegoss. We got Grassy Surge here, which I don't mind. So, you know what? I am going to go for a Pollen Puff against Rillaboom just to get some chip damage in. I don't think it super matters here. And then I'm going to go for a Superpower against this Mamoswine because that's going to, you know, get our boosts going. It's going to hit it really hard. Goes off for a Dynamax right away. Let's see who this is. Dynamax on the Mamoswine. Okay. Goes for the Drum Beating on the Eldegoss. Interesting. Not very effective. Going to drop Eldegoss's speed, but Cotton Dawn is going to drop everyone else's speed as well. And there we get our speed boost off the Malamar, going into the Superpower. Does not do as much as I would have liked, but after that single attack boost, I think we might be able to get a 2-hit KO out of this. Ooh, but the weakness policy. Max Hailstorm, this might be bad news for Eldegoss. And that is the Eldegoss down. I think we're going to see another Cotton Down activation here. So here, I'm definitely going to switch into the Excadrill. Hopefully the Superpower is able to take out the Mamoswine next turn. Though I'm not certain on that. But then Excadrill with a solid X-Scissor into the Rillaboom is probably going to be able to take it out. So we're going to hit an X-Scissor into the Rillaboom. Gonna run it back with Superpower. And see how this goes. I'm definitely outspeeding both of these guys. Withdraws the Rillaboom, sends out Mantine, so X's are not going to do a whole lot there. Oh, missed it by one. X's are probably not going to be great here. Yeah, unfortunately. Rough. Quake just taking out the Excadrill. Alright, so we got no choice but to bring Milotic out. You know, I'm wondering if I should have instead gone for a Rock Slide off of Excadrill, because that would have ensured the KO on Mamoswine while still being able to do chip damage on whatever else was out, but I don't know if I really expected a switch there, so oh well. Looks like we're getting a little bit of lag off the switch here, but alright. So I'm not super sure what to go for here. I think, yeah, maybe just a Scald on the Mamoswine, and then... So, Mantine's going to resist Superpower. So I think we just go for just Stab Throat Chop, and see where that gets us. We are at +2 attack, so that should be, you know, decent damage. We'll take it. Alright. So that was a solid turn. Just taking a quick look at my audio levels here, and the switch volume seems to be very unpredictable. So I see it's just it's peaking at certain points, and it's getting real loud. So I might have to take a look at that and adjust it between battles and see what's going on. All right, we got the Rillaboom back out, and Indeedee with the Psychic Surge. So I think here we've got pretty easy Throat Chop on the Indeedee, Ice Beam on the Rillaboom. I'm just nervous that Rillaboom is gonna outspeed the Milotic for sure, right? Because it was able to go in, reset those Cotton Down drops. But, you know, Milotic is fairly bulky, so maybe it'll be able to tank a Drum Beating and hit back with that Ice Beam. Hopefully we can just get a really, really powerful turn here with the Focus Sash. So let's see what you do with your turn. Okay, there's the Drum Beating. Okay, that's good, that's good. Speed fell, get a competitive boost. Hopefully that's enough to take out Expanding Force. Oh, is this one of those DLC moves? There's the Ice Beam. Ooh. So that was oh, and it gets taken out by the hail anyway. All right, so there you go. Milotic goes down to hail, but that's fine because Malamar is just fine. And there you go. Speed Trap coming in for the win. All right, so here we see the opponent has Dusclops, Togekiss, Excadrill, Hatterene, Passimian, and Indeedee female. So this is definitely a Trick Room team. You've got Dusclops, Indeedee female, and Hatterene all capable of dropping the Trick Room. You've got Togekiss probably for Follow Me support to protect whatever setter they end up going with. I don't know what Passimian is here for. All these DLC mon are kind of throwing me. I'm not sure what they do in the meta yet. And then Excadrill could be a fast option, could be a slow option. I mean, it's only 88 base speed, so it does have a little bit of play to it. So we're going to lead off Eldegoss Chandelure. You know, I take that back. We're going to lead Chandelure and Malamar, because the Throat Chop is going to be able to hit any of their setters pretty hard. And then in the back... Oh, and I ran out of time. So I guess we end up with Eldegoss Milotic in addition to our Malamar Chandelure, who are registered first, which I think is probably going to end up being okay. I was probably going to take the Milotic anyway. Oh no, because I didn't register a full 4, they just give us my first 4, so I guess we gotta... So switching into Chandelure to hit a... to hit an Imprison isn't good here. So I'm just gonna Leech Seed the Indeedee and hit a Throat Chop on it to maybe take it out. Yeah, so this Leech Seed gonna take that extra 1 off the Focus Sash. Let's see what the hat does. Dazzling Gleam, gonna be super effective on Malamar. Taking it out. We get a Cotton Down drop. And Indeedee going to go down here. So Hatterene's going to be extra slow. I could just go into the Chandelure here, and I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Come on. Shadow Ball's gonna hit the Hatterene. I think we go for a Leech Seed on the Togekiss as well, because it's gonna be fairly bulky. And I am kind of expecting Follow Me. So Shadow Ball on the Togekiss doesn't super bother me. We wanted to hit the Hatterene, obviously, but I guess we'll see what happens. Not going to be a big deal if he goes for the Follow Me. Which they do. Shadow Ball doing decent damage. Oh, off a crit. Okay. We still take it. And avoids the Leech Seed. So this is the Expanding Force, which I think, wow, was powerful. That's the one that hits off of terrains, right? So now both of them are slow. The Milotic is going to outspeed. Here we can definitely go for an Ice Beam on the Togekiss because Milotic is going to outspeed the Chandelure, which also has a speed drop now. So then we can for sure just Shadow Ball the Hat. And this should be a 2-0 turn. Goes for a Dynamax, probably on the Hatterene, is what I'm expecting. Yep. And we see the Giga Hatterene here. Much easier to acquire a good Giga Hatterene thanks to the addition of Max Soup. This Ice Beam taking out the Togekiss. Chandelure coming in with the Shadow Ball. Not quite taking out the Hatterene. Oh, but we get a special defense drop. That's decent. Max Overgrowth. Not what I expected to see there, but there's that Calm Nature Assault Vest coming in. Let's see what else you have here. You do have one more Pokemon, yes? And it's the Drill. Alright, so something's going down here. We're definitely hitting a Scald on this Excadrill. You know, I'm even tempted to Dynamax here. I see no reason not to. And they're both 130, so it doesn't matter. I'll use a Surf. And then Shadow Ball. I'm going to go for the Heat Wave here, because it's probably going to do enough to the Hatterene, but it's definitely going to hit this Excadrill hard. So depending on who they target, because Excadrill can only hit one of us, unless he goes for an Earthquake. But I would be surprised if it doubles Excadrill was running Earthquake. So Milotic, go in there doubling its HP. Hopefully it can tank a hit here. Excadrill for the Rock Slide. Taking out the Chandelure. Geyser to take out the Excadrill. Hopefully we can just live this hit from the Hatterene. Smite gonna hit me with the Confusion. So basically I just need to land my next hit and we're good. We got the Rain Boost, we got the Stab Boost. Let's just come in for a final Max Geyser and hope I don't get Confusion. It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. And there's the Max Geyser. And there's the game. Alright, so after a little bit of a rough start there, taking too long with my team decisions, just the basic first four gets it done. And there you have it. Alright, and here we are against Seiki with a Morpeko, Togekiss, Excadrill, Rillaboom, Primarina, Cinderace. I really don't know what to think about this. That might be a Libero Cinderace. Probably is a Libero Cinderace. This Morpeko, I don't know what you're doing. We're not worried about Trick Room. Milotic is probably really good here. So I think we're just going to lead off Elagos, Malamar, Milotic. And then what else do we want here? Excadrill is going to hit Rillaboom, Cinderace, Morpeko, Togekiss. That's probably pretty good. Chandelure really only hitting, you know, 2 of those 6. So I think Excadrill is the one we want. So let's run it like this. I think we like that. That is a look, let me tell you. So we got the Rillaboom Excadrill starting off here. I'm not expecting Focus Sash on the Excadrill, I should specify. So, you know, so I could either go Giga Drain on the Excadrill or Pollen Puff on the Rillaboom, because I'm definitely going Superpower on the Excadrill off of Malamar. I think I'm going to Pollen Puff the Rillaboom because I'm not expecting Focus Sash. So let's see what this does. Goes for a Fake Out, which I do not appreciate. But he misses the Rock Slide on Malamar, which is good. We get the Cotton Down activation, so next turn is going to go well. You flinch, you get the Pollen Puff. A little decent damage off of that. And then we get some Grassy Surge back. So that actually ended up not going terribly for us here. Leftovers recovery, so that Rock Slide did very little. Here we're just gonna hit a Pollen Puff again because, you know, why not? And then we'll run that superpower back. Hopefully it hits this time. How are you still faster? Okay, so you're Choice Scarfed. I don't know what the heck that Rillaboom has. No, you're not Choice Scarfed, because you used, that was an Iron Head after a Rock Slide. I don't know what's going on here. So this time I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to go for a Giga Drain on the Excadrill, and we're going to Ice Beam the Rillaboom, because... In fact, I think I want a Dynamax here, because Rillaboom is going to have the super effective move against the Milotic, so we want to take it out first. Yeah, I'm going to Dynamax here. Interesting. Let's see what you go into. Togekiss. So that Giga Drain not going to do much. So there's an argument for saving the Dynamax for the Excadrill so that I can reset my Choice Scarf, but then I lose the Choice Scarf boost. But if it's my last Pokemon and I'm locked into a move that I don't like... Okay, so I would have lived that Grassy Glide anyway. What is this Rillaboom? Living the Ice Hit, outspeeding Malamar with the 2-speed differential. I do not know what's going on here. This is an enigma of a match to me. So I'm going to hit this Pollen Puff here and hopefully take out the Rillaboom and Hailstorm the Togekiss and hopefully take it out too. You get the Follow Me. Hopefully this gets a KO. No, not even close. Pollen Puff getting redirected, not doing much at all. Alright, so Milotic definitely going to go down here. Switching into Excadrill doesn't do anything because it's going to probably die to a Grassy Glide as well. So Eldegoss can't really do anything here other than... I mean, hitting a Leech Seed is probably okay. Leech Seed probably going to do more damage to Togekiss than Pollen Puff would. Thinking about the future turn, I could just go for the Pollen Puff to knock out the Rillaboom here, but I think I'm going to set up the Leech Seed so that I can Helping Hand a Rock Slide the following turn with the Excadrill. So that's my thought process there. Oh, Milotic's got to pick something. Even though it's definitely going to go down this turn. There's the Follow Me, which doesn't matter because we're targeting it anyway. Milotic down, Leech Seed hits, and Hail. So, since we're going to be locked in with Choice Scarf, let's think about our opponent's Pokemon. I believe they still have all four, which is not ideal. So if we're going to go for a Rock Slide here, that's probably going to be enough to take out the Rillaboom. It's definitely going to be enough to take out the Togekiss. It's not going to be effective on their Excadrill that we know they have, and we don't know what their last Pokemon is. So oh, I'm not running Helping Hand. Oh well. Let's just go for the Pollen Puff on the Rillaboom then. And then hit this Rock Slide, which is probably gonna be fine in the long run. In a previous draft of this team, Eldegoss was running Helping Hand. And so I was still thinking for a second that I might have that, even though I was looking at all four of its moves when I said that. But, you know, whatever, it's fine. So Rock Slide takes out both of them there. And I guess we see what they have left. The good news is Eldegoss is still at full, which is great. And there's the Cinderace. I was hoping it was going to be a Cinderace because that's weak to Rock Slide. The only problem is Cinderace is fast. We are choiced, so we can probably outspeed it here. But I'm just hoping that there's no like Focus Sash shenanigans. I'm gonna go for a Giga Drain here because that's probably gonna do decently. And then let's hit this Rock Slide. Hopefully we can take out the Cinderace in one hit so it doesn't, I say as he Dynamaxes, assuming the Cinderace. Hopefully he doesn't just like Pyro Ball our Excadrill and just make us sad. But that's probably exactly what's going to happen. Excadrill going for the Protect, which makes us extra sad. Hit the Rock Slide, not even doing half. There's the Libero, switching to Fighting type, coming in on the Excadrill, taking us out, getting an attack boost for both of his Pokemon. Giga Drain, getting protected against. And I think that's the game. Max Flare, change it to Fire type. If this doesn't one-shot, I'd be surprised. Yeah, and there it is. Alright, so we lost that one. Definitely some weirdness going on with the speed. I'm going to have to take a look at that again and really analyze what went on there. But good game, Siki. Alright, here we go. We see Hatterene and DD female, Escavalier, or whatever that is, Togekiss, Appleton, Conkeldurr. So this screams Trick Room to me. You've got Hatterene and DD, Togekiss for Follow Me. You've got that slow Conkeldurr coming in there. Slow Appleton, too, probably. They're all slow. So we're leading off Chandelure Malamar, because that's going to be able to Imprison. We're going to be able to Throat Chop, their Psychic type. But then let's see what else we want here. Who's going to be good against the majority of their field? I'm thinking Snorlax if we're able to turn on a Trick Room ourselves, or to use their Trick Room against them, and then maybe Excadrill just to, if they are slow and we lose our stuff, to come in and just outspeed their stuff. So I think Snorlax and Excadrill just to kind of play that field a little bit. So I think we're going to run it like this and see how this works out. Indeedee Hatterene. Alright, so this looks like a classic Trick Room lead. And I don't know who's going to be setting the room. But either way, we hit Imprison, it doesn't matter. So that's just going to shut off the Trick Room altogether. And then we're going to hit a Throat Chop on somebody. I'm going to go for the Indeedee, just because it's probably going to do more damage that way. So we'll just see what happens here. And the Indeedee goes for Follow Me anyway, so... Malamar hitting you down, activating the Focus Sash. And that shuts off the Trick Room. So right now, we know we're in good shape. So now, we can go for a Shadow Ball against the Hatterene, which is going to do some major damage. And, I think instead I'm going to go for a Heat Wave. Because that's going to take them both out. No, let me think about this, because if Indeedee goes for a Follow Me again, Malamar's going to move first. So, no, we want the Shadow Ball on the Hatterene, because the Throat Chop is going to take the Indeedee out anyway. Okay, that's what we're doing. And that's what we do. They go for the Follow Me again. We're going to get the Throat Chop, take it out, Shadow Ball, hits the Hatterene. That worked out. Glad we thought that one through. And that's Modest Chandelure, max special attack coming through with the massive damage. So let's see what they bring in the back. Escavalier is not gonna like that, not gonna like this Heat Wave coming through, which is gonna bypass any Follow Me from Togekiss. So let's get this Heat Wave. And Togekiss is going to double resist Superpower, so I guess we just go for the Throat Chop again. Which is only single resisted. Actually, Psycho Cut not resisted at all, so we're going to go for Psycho Cut here. Seems like our best plan. Togekiss actually outspeeding here. Escavalier with the super effective berry. Let's see if that doesn't end up mattering. And I think this one's in the bag. Generally not one to call a battle early, but I think we nailed this one. Air Slash, even if you get the flinch on the Chandelure, the Psycho Cut's going to come through, which it doesn't look like you got the flinch anyway. And there we go. The power of Imprison, everyone. And that was Speed Trap. I apologize for the lack of commentary at the beginning of the second battle. I got kind of tilted after the team selection didn't quite go as planned, but I feel like those battles were fairly representative of how the team is supposed to, and then in practice does, function. I'm really pleased overall with how our meme fared. For the most part, not only boosting our Malamar to unrivaled speeds, helping it to become a terrifying sweeper, especially after some superpower boosts of its own, but also with Cotton Down just slowing down the opponents just enough to be able to squeak out that additional value from our own switch-ins. Milotic and Chandelure specifically are not the fastest Pokemon, but as we saw, we were able to get some really powerful hits in at times that they might not normally be able to. I did take a look at battle number 3, which we ended up losing, unfortunately, and saw at the very beginning our Malamar actually got a speed drop from the Cotton Down instead of the boost that we were expecting, which I totally missed at the time. I didn't see that at all. So that's why both Pokemon were still able to outspeed it the following turn, making me think that the opposing Excadrill had Choice Scarf, because that's, a common item for the drill, so that's just kind of where my head went. And being just overall confused by how Rillaboom could be so bulky and still so fast. Turns out it wasn't that fast. It was just Malamar got a speed drop that we didn't see. Turns out that's a symptom of Mold Breaker, where I guess since Cotton Down's activation is considered part of Excadrill's move, Contrary gets ignored and drops the speed like normal. So that's something to keep in mind. Mold Breaker matters, I guess. And then in the last battle, we didn't use Eldegoss at all, which, no Cotton Down, but I'm seeing that as more of a testament to how well-rounded and versatile the team ended up being. We were able to take on that Trick Room really well and just boom, boom, take it down. One other thing to note is that competitive, despite its in-game text stating that whenever a stat gets dropped, it boosts your special attack, in reality, this only activates when an opponent causes one of your stats to drop. So we didn't end up seeing this happen on screen, but it's something to keep in mind. So unfortunately, your own Cotton Down will not activate competitive, which is kind of disappointing. With that in mind, I would still keep Surf on the set, as it is able to hit both opponents, and it will also activate the Cotton Down when next to the Eldegoss. Because you can still use it, it can still be useful to guarantee slowing down your opponents, to make them susceptible to your own switch-ins, but unfortunately, it's not going to be able to do anything more than that. So, hopefully you enjoyed this idea. I think this team turned out really great, honestly, and could actually hold up at a tournament. So, if you like it, feel free to go ahead and grab that rental code at the beginning of the video. I'm going to drop it in the description as well. And go ahead and try it out for yourself. Hope you enjoy. Until next time, happy battling.